Hey guys, Dr. Sil here. Today I wanted to make a video about how and why I started and am continuing with YouTube. And I'm not gonna kind of do a 10 tips in 10 minutes, get 10,000 subscribers kind of video. I know those are popular, punchy and fun, and maybe I'll do one later. But I kind of want to increase my authenticity with you guys and have more content that's, I guess, maybe a little bit more podcasty, but also vulnerable and honest, because I think that's, very important to me. And I think you deepen relationships with people when you are vulnerable with them, when you show your weaknesses and show your honesty and that kind of thing. So I think that's all very important. And I don't kind of feel like I've been doing that much with YouTube. It's really hard to be kind of authentic and honest on a social platform like YouTube because of it's just not exactly sure why. It's just hard, and I'll think through that later. And I want to improve that. So today I'm just going to talk through a couple of issues. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I started YouTube and why I'm continuing. Then I'll talk about a couple of tips on basically how I've made it frictionless, so it's easy for me to make videos, and also talk about the kind of keys that I see, the key things that I think are very important in a lot of growth. And as I said, this won't be like punchy editing. This will be minimal editing, just kind of discussion, podcasty style. And I hope this video kind of serves to inspire, or if you're just a viewer that enjoys watching, kind of shows you a bit of the background of how these videos are made, and hence why I wanted to make it, to kind of show you guys behind the scenes and just kind of have a chat with you guys. I'm slowly building the confidence to one day kind of doing more live streaming where we can talk in real time a little bit more, but I don't know, I find that a bit daunting at the moment. So anyway, let's get into today's video. So why did I start YouTube? I think that I started YouTube as a medical student a bit more than a year ago, because of two reasons. First of all, there was lockdown with COVID, so I was stuck inside a lot and I was watching a lot of YouTube and playing a lot of video games, and I kind of just had this realization that I didn't want to just be a consumer of content, I wanted to be a creator of content. That was the first factor. I had thought about it for a while, and as a kid I had uploaded some silly YouTube videos, but really it was kind of being at home in lockdown that kind of initiated it. I saw a video from Ali Abdaal, who's this fantastic, authentic YouTuber, and I just watched his first ever kind of vlog video where he's just in his, just on his bed, I think, and he just films being like, hey, I'm gonna start a vlog. I've been thinking about it for a while, and the key to starting a vlog is just not giving a crap what people think and just doing it. And he has a lot of very good points, and I think he's probably been the main my main inspirational source to starting the YouTube series. And after seeing that video of him just filming himself in his bed, I just filmed myself on my couch doing the same thing, and I kind of just started from there. I think the second reason I wanted to start YouTube is because I knew that one day it would be a good idea. And I know that YouTube is a long haul process because it's so competitive. I don't want to think of it as competitive, but because it's a saturated market, there's a lot of YouTubers out there, it takes a long time for you to kind of get a community. But I knew that one day it would be very valuable to have a community. So if I'm a consultant, in, let's say, psychiatry, and I want to have a large impact in the field by providing good quality education, having a YouTube channel with 1 million subscribers, which hopefully one day this channel will have that much, that would be really beneficial to have that platform to kind of share what I hope is very good information, and therefore to have a kind of positive effect on a lot of people's lives. And the third reason, which goes back to me being honest and vulnerable, is that it's a good source of income. I want to be financially independent. I want to work not full-time. I want to work ideally I want to work 80% of the time. People who work in hospitals 5 days a week and 6 days a week with overtime and sometimes 7 days a week, and we've all been there, but people who do that for long periods of time, I haven't seen many examples of a happy person who works at hospitals full-time. The hospital system is so chaotic and kind of inconsiderate of your feelings that it can really break you if you have to work there full time. And I want to have a nice and happy life, so I want to have a balanced life. And having a second source of income in 10 years' time will mean that I can probably work part-time, which is one of my goals. And you want to have a balance in life between having a lot of impact with a few people and a little bit of impact with a wide breadth of people. It's kind of the distinction between doing a research career and a clinical career. If you're a clinical doctor, you'll have a large impact on a small number of people. And if you're a researcher, you're going to have a small impact, but it'll affect a large number of people, hopefully. And I feel like if you're a clinician and a YouTuber, you get that same balance. Especially if your YouTube channel is about education and that kind of thing. So I felt like it would help me achieve that balance in 10 years. I'm always thinking of YouTube as a 10-year plan, and I think if you're going to start a channel, you should too. There's one thing you certainly cannot control as a YouTuber, and that's how many subscribers you have. And a lot of YouTubers will go in with a goal of hitting a number of subscribers. Ali Abdaal's talked about this as well. I'll be honest, I check my subscriber count probably 3 times a day for no reason. It's not going to change dramatically. And although one time it did, I'll talk about that later. But it's a habit, and I don't get disappointed if it hasn't moved or anything like that. It's just kind of like a metric that I keep an eye on. But I shouldn't, and you shouldn't, but you probably will, and that's okay. But just realize that it's not something you can really control, and if you use that as your metric for success, which so many YouTubers do, you'll inevitably be disappointed, I think, because it's very likely that you won't have as many subscribers as you want. Most YouTubers, even if they have millions of subscribers, have less than they want because of the human condition and always wanting more. I think the better thing to have as your goals is the amount of content you produce. So, and this is kind of going from the why I started YouTube now to the how I measure and keep going, and how I have grown my channel. And the key factor on how I've grown my channel is consistency. With all my faults, the thing that I'm proud of that I've achieved is good consistency. My channel has heaps of videos, and maybe 5% of them I would consider good, like really good. But the rest I would consider really average. And that's okay. You want to produce average content. And it's not because you think your audience isn't worth the best kind of content. It's because if someone likes your channel and likes you personally, then having it edited 20% better won't be the difference between them following you long term or shorter term. This video will be a video that's very poor, it will have minimal editing. It'll be mostly just, there won't be any flashy videos or whatever on top and third-party stock footage and whatever. It's just going to be me chatting. That's, in terms of post-production value, that's very poor. But if you enjoy my presence in your life, in this kind of parasocial relationship we've got, then you're going to want to continue watching. And putting more effort into the quality of the video wouldn't have changed that fact as to whether you subscribe or not. So I think producing consistent average content is a very good goal. My goal's always been to produce 1 to 2 videos a week, and I think I have achieved that goal for all weeks except one. And how? How, you might ask? I am not very, very busy, but I would consider myself busy. I work full-time as a junior doctor, and that's a busy thing in itself. I also have, I really freaking value relationships with my friends and deepening those relationships. I think a lot of value in life comes from the depth of your relationships with your friends. So I like to socialize and spend time with my friends. So that's another factor that keeps me busy. And I've had other projects while doing YouTube. I've had businesses that I've tried to start. I've got an app idea right now that I'm working on. Who doesn't have an app idea though, right? And I love video gaming, right? So I'm a busy guy if I video game. But my point is, I've found YouTube, I've been able to continue with consistent YouTube videos weekly, even though I've had a lot of other things that I value highly. Fitness is another thing I do. I started skipping. Skipping's very good for you. And how have I done that? I've made it frictionless. So maybe I'll give you guys a little tour. I'll actually just film on my phone to show you guys, get a little clean, what I'm seeing right now and how it looks to me. And if you guys want to kind of start your own channel and make it frictionless, I strongly suggest doing what I'm doing right now. So I'm just going to start filming right now. That must be a little bit like, what do you call that? Inception. So what I'm looking at right now, if I look at my desk, I've got a camera, a audio recorder, and a microphone up here, as well as a light. So my YouTube studio is here, and it barely ever moves. Now, yes, I've also got my, this is just my sleeping mask, my bed's there, and my light. I know, my YouTube studio is next to my bed. Don't remind me, it's not good. One day I won't live in Sydney, or I'll have so much money that I can afford a house with an extra room, but that's not today, so I have to stuff everything into my bedroom. And then here's my computer right next to my YouTube stack. This camera is going to my computer through an HDMI cable, and I'm using an Elgato Cam Link for that. And then in this software called OBS Studio, which is free open source software. Hey guys, I'm recording, all right? And I've got all these different ways of recording if I want to kind of change for different. And there you have it. I just move that out of the way. And then that's my PC over there. Now my PC is expensive and I put a lot of money into it because I wanted it to kind of, I think I'm done with filming actually. Oh yeah, and I just kind of have my iPad there for notes if I need it. So look, I'm indulging myself. I've got a PC, I've got an iPad, I've got very good equipment because I want the quality of the image and sound to be very high. But you don't need all that. You could literally do all of this just with your phone on a tripod, which is how I started, by the way. So my first 10 videos were just like my older iPhone. Anyway, my older phone, it wasn't an iPhone, but it doesn't matter. My older phone on a tripod. And I didn't even have an audio, I didn't have a microphone, I just used the phone's audio. And then I kind of had my first paychecks as a doctor. Oh no, I was still a medical student, but I had some money saved and I was like, look, I'm gonna probably do this for the next 10 years. That's when I decided I'm doing this for 10 years, so I'm gonna invest in, and now I've got $5,000 or so worth of equipment. But like none of it really needs to be updated for the next 10 years. So it's $500 a year. And if I make a video a week, you divide that by another 52, it makes it like very cheap per video. And I can sell it all at any point of time and it'll hold a lot of its value because I bought everything secondhand. So anyway, buy things secondhand, microphones especially, you don't need to buy new stuff like that. But a lot of things you can buy secondhand for cheap. All right, so we've made some progress in this video. What have we talked about? We've talked about why I started, basically how I make it consistent and ongoing. And then a final thing I kind of want to talk about, and that's really about the type of content you produce. I think there's a lot of focus in kind of finding a niche in YouTube. It's very important that you forget about that as a new YouTuber, and especially if you're a medical student or something, or a student of any degree, you don't have a niche. So how do I start this conversation? Look, if you're youthful and young, you are chaos. You have all these different directions you can go with your life, and you haven't picked one. And unfortunately and fortunately, one day you're gonna have to pick a direction at the sacrifice of all other directions you could have been. I chose to be a doctor and that has costed me being, I don't know, something else, like other things I considered were being a bartender or a junk removalist. I'm not gonna be those things because I'm a doctor. And that's okay, because I really love being a doctor. It's freaking awesome. I'll talk about that in another video. But you sacrifice other things to do your thing. Now, in YouTube, it's kind of similar, but you don't need to worry about that at the start. You just start with kind of whatever. You start with just something. You just produce crap, right? The first 50 videos no one's going to watch anyway, and you have to have that mentality. You just produce them to produce them, to get the experience. So don't worry about finding a niche, just produce videos about anything you can think of. And if you don't have a topic that you can think up, then I want you to then produce a video about what you did over the weekend. No one's going to watch it, don't worry, just make the video, make it a live stream or whatever, and get some practice, because you'll find your niche over time, and then you can follow that niche. It's a good idea, it's a very good idea to make a channel with your own name on it, instead of like saying medical videos, you say Dr. Sil, because now I have the license to make videos about anything I want, which is what I kind of do. And it's actually a source of stress for me, because it's not serious stress, but kind of a source of often I have to reflect on it often, because I have a lot of people who are watching this who are interested in mental health, and I've got a couple of people interested in watching this video and my videos who are interested in clinical medicine, which are quite different things. And then there's what I'm interested in. And what I'm interested in changes all the freaking time. I am interested in everything, and I feel like making videos about very different things. So I make things about, one of my big goals at the moment is to become a good doctor. And that's an ongoing thing for the next 2 years. So I try and make videos about not only mental health, but about clinical medicine. And right now, over the past week and a half, I have become fascinated with the psychology, mental health, and general health of astronauts, because that's going to be a big barrier to going to Mars, which I think is like a very interesting subject. So now I want to make videos about that, which is nothing to do with clinical medicine, like very little to do with clinical medicine, really. So I've got my channel is a little bit chaotic as well, and it's probably the main reason it hasn't grown like super quick. If I just did one thing and I just did the one thing well, I'm sure I could probably grow quicker, but that's not kind of what I wanted to do. And I don't think, I think I want to hit 100,000 subscribers, because then I get a plaque and that makes me feel good. But after 100,000, I don't think I need to kind of focus on growth so much. I just kind of want to hit that metric, and then I'll feel like this is a well-established, legitimate YouTube channel. Anyway, I'm going to pause there. I'm going to leave it there. I think I've got heaps more to talk about, and I'm going to continue doing these kind of authentic, low-edited videos because I love doing them. It is also quite therapeutic for me. As someone who's interested in mental health, I think it's very important that if you can afford it, you do some psychotherapy if you're curious about your own mind. At the moment, I don't consider myself, I could afford it, I wouldn't go broke if I did it, but since I don't need to do it, because at the moment I don't have any kind of psychopathology or any sources of stress, I'm not going to put my money into it yet. I'll do it later when I'm more financially independent, but right now I'm kind of saving up to buy a house and hopefully a house with an extra room, so I don't have to have my bloody my desk right next to my bed. So this acts as psychotherapy for me. It just kind of gives me this, it lets me talk to you. Unfortunately, it's quite a unidirectional conversation, and I'm sorry about that. But it's very good for me to do this as well. I really enjoy these kind of chats. And if you enjoy it, it would really validate it for me if you liked the video. And I hope that doesn't make me sound like a crappy YouTuber trying to just get sort of look, we need, if you're into YouTube, you need to ask for likes, because that's how YouTube's algorithm picks up your videos and shows it to people, and therefore increases your chance of being shown to someone who will enjoy your content. So you just kind of have to bite the bullet and be a sellout and ask people to like and subscribe. Sorry about that, but like and subscribe. Okay. All right, guys, have an absolutely lovely day. I read all of your comments. I'm sorry if I don't reply to all of them, but I read them all, and I will try and reply to yours if you want to leave a little comment down below. If you want to suggest anything or say anything, that'll all be lovely. I think that's it. Okay. See you in the next one.